Welcome, everyone. My name is Roni Rufian. I'm a career engagement educator at the UCLA Career Center. Welcome to our info session for Career Ready Bootcamp. I've been part of Career Ready Bootcamp and helping in developing this program. This is probably my fourth year in doing so. I'm so very much excited to be here today to talk to you guys about this wonderful 2-day virtual event that will be held in January. It's basically a 2-day virtual professional career development camp for undergraduate students. My presentation today is going to go through the application process. We'll talk about what the camp is about and the professional development that it's going to provide you guys for 2 days. And then we're going to also hear from alumni from a couple years ago, Christian, who's here today, who's going to talk about the program and how helpful he thought the program was and the benefits of the program. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat as well, but we definitely have time to answer questions as we go through the presentation towards the end. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the goals of this program. One of the main goals as part of Career Ready Bootcamp is to help you know your resources and support systems. There's a lot of resources at UCLA from the Career Center and other departments on campus, and we feel that CRB, Career Ready Bootcamp, is definitely a program that will give you access to and understanding of what those resources are, resources that we offer at the Career Center and resources that are in and around campus. And then for sure, it's a program that really supports you in your support system. We'll talk about the peer support you're going to gain. We'll talk about support from mentorship and alumni who are going to be there that weekend to help you. So it is definitely a program that will allow you to learn more about your resources that are available to you and your support system around you. You build a lot of great relationship with your peers. If you haven't or have looked at the application process, one of the questions in the application is, what industry are you interested in? What type of student orgs are you a part of at UCLA? The point of those questions in the application is to be able to peer you with students who have the same maybe industry interest and so on. So you'll definitely be able to build relationship with your peers and peers and students that you might not have in the past had the opportunity to connect with. Speaking of connecting, so you establish connections with alumni, professionals, and employers. I'll talk a little bit more about this as I go through the presentation, but definitely it's a weekend where you get to build mentorship, you'll get to connect with alumni, and this year we have a very special component to it in that you also get to connect with employers, not just within the 2 days of the program, but after the program as well. As we encourage you guys to reach out to employers and follow up and do informational interviews and mock interviews and things like that. So definitely this program, one of the main goals is to build that connection and relationship with alumni and employers. You'll for sure increase your self-awareness and gain clarity. One of the ways to really learn about yourself and your professional development to help you within your professional development is your awareness of who you are, what are your values, what's important to you, and gain clarity to that. A lot of the programs that we have developed for the weekend will definitely do that. It will allow you to learn more about yourself. What are your strengths? What are you good at? What would you like to improve on, and so on. So one of the other main goals is to make you more self-aware of your strengths and weaknesses and skills that you can improve on. You'll definitely receive coaching and participate in practice in presenting yourself as well. The coaching will come from your team leaders, which could be Career Center staff. It'll come from the employers that are going to be, helping you out along the way. It'll come from the alumni that you're going to be connecting with. So you'll definitely have a mentor that'll be there for you as you complete the program. And then you're going to set goals and create an action plan. So within the career development plan, there's definitely steps that we recommend you taking and setting goals for yourself and creating next steps. And the main purpose of one of the main reasons for this program and the weekend is to get you started on setting goals and creating that action plan for yourself. And then finally, to increase your confidence and to achieve your goals. A lot of times students might need that extra push or that extra assistance to reach their goal. And this purpose of this program is to help you and build your confidence in achieving whatever your goals may be for yourselves as you or might be starting your UCLA career or finishing up your UCLA career. So these are some general program goals. Students gain a lot more goals and experiences and through this program, but just off the bat, these are some of the goals that we're trying to definitely have you gain and accomplish as you go through the 2-day program. Let's talk about a little bit who we're looking for as far as applicants, because it is an application process for this program. So two types of applicants. If you're unsure of your career direction, or you're pretty clear but need help figuring out how to take action. Both of these candidates, both of these students, I think gain a lot from this program. If you're unsure of your career direction, again, there's a lot of activities, a lot of useful resources that'll help you gain more direction or what direction you need to go into. And if you have an idea, so let's say maybe you're pre-med or you're thinking of accounting as a field, it'll definitely give you connections as far as connecting with alumni and taking that extra next step that you need. It doesn't matter if you're an introvert or extrovert. Every year we end up getting a very good balance of both. So if you're maybe a little bit on the quieter side or not as talkative, those types of candidates greatly benefit from this program. So do our extroverts as well, because then they also get to use their extroverted side and connect with alumni and recruiters, our alumni and employers as well. You definitely have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone and support others to step outside of theirs. In this weekend, you are, with your cohort, you're meeting with the same group of students. You're going to be in the larger group, but when we do have breakout sessions in which you're meeting with your cohorts. So the ability to be able to open up to a certain extent and step out of your comfort zone, I think is really important. And not just that, but being able to support others as well in getting to that point. We definitely are looking for candidates that are, willing to do that. And we don't expect everyone to be comfortable in doing that, but, willing to step beyond that and be comfortable in doing so. Have faced or overcome obstacles to get to where you are today. Now, some students might be like, well, I haven't faced that many challenges or obstacles, but whatever obstacle you feel like that is an obstacle for you. So, keep that in mind. We'll talk about one of the essay questions as that addresses this topic, but think about, obstacles that you have overcome and how that has made you a stronger person, a better person, what lessons it has taught you. So be ready to talk about that within the application process. Dedicated to self-improvement. So definitely it is a weekend where you're going to be self-reflecting a lot. So being open to, the idea of self-improvement and learning skills and being able to apply those skills to what you've learned into your career development, into your life development and things like that. So your dedication to want to improve overall or self-improve overall. And then we're also looking for candidates who are willing to accept help from others because it is, again, going to be a program, a weekend where you're there to help each other as well. So being able to say, yeah, I need assistance, or I'm having trouble with this, or I'm having a difficult time understanding, and getting help, being open to get help from staff, from your peers, and so on. Let's go through, I wanted to go through some of the outcomes. Again, we've done this. This is our 7th annual CRB Career Ready Bootcamp. So I wanted to share with you guys some outcomes that we had as far as students' confidence levels in career development topics before they started the bootcamp and then after they went through the program. So I'm not going to necessarily go through all the areas, but for example, resume writing ability, you can see 22.92% confidence level before the start of bootcamp. As the students completed the bootcamp, again, 100%, they were 100% confident in their ability to be able to write a very well-structured resume and be happy to give that to recruiters and so on. Interviewing skills, which you're going to get a lot of practice with that during Career Ready Bootcamp. Again, you can see 16.67%. After bootcamp, students' confidence in interviewing skills went way high, 93%. Networking skills, again, that's another area which we're going to be focusing a lot, 14.58%. It went up to 100% after bootcamp. Job and internship strategy, same thing. The numbers are pretty similar as far as where students were before and then after bootcamp at 100%. And what can I offer an employer, which we'll talk about as far as like the idea of branding yourself, the idea of talking about your skills and so on. Again, 31.25% to 97.6%. This chart just basically shows how valuable this program is for students, for undergrads, and the skills and their career development skills, and how confident they felt, how much more confident they felt in those skills after completing the program. What to expect. So this is a agenda, or I'm sorry, this is basically what we expect you to do if you do get accepted into the program. So the application is due November 8th. Once you hear back that you have gotten into the program, there are 2 mandatory orientation dates. You do not have to go to both. You pick one. You let us know which one you will be attending, and you are required to attend one of those orientations. We do have resume lab days. So your resume is not a requirement as part of the application, but you are required to attend the resume lab. Again, once you get admitted into the program, we will give you those dates as well. You get to pick one of those dates for the resume lab. And that resume lab is to help you make sure your resume looks professional and so on. And then you will have some assignments during winter break that we would require for you to complete. In the past, it's been make sure you have a LinkedIn profile that you are comfortable enough presenting. We require students to connect with alumni that are going to be joining that weekend on LinkedIn and so on. So it's activities like that that we would require you to do during winter break, but more about that to come as we admit you into the program. What to expect from the actual camp. Again, the camp itself is going to be January 19th and January 9th and January 10th. It is virtual. The first day, basically, we're going to talk to you about career readiness and steps that you need to take in getting yourself ready. We're going to do an assessment, which is the strengths assessment, and focus a lot on the topic of storytelling and being able to tell your story and talk about yourself in that sense. And we're going to end the day with self-reflection and group activities that you're going to be doing with your cohort. Sunday, January 10th, you're going to meet your mentor. So this is where we're going to connect you with your alumni that you would indicate that you'd be interested in meeting. Prepare for mock interviews and practice some mock interviews. Create next plans or next action plans. And then after the camp, again, that mentorship, the ability to continue that relationship with your alumni will continue, along with doing mock interviews with employers and so on. So just based on this agenda, you can see that, the value of this program, it just doesn't end, within those 2 days, but we encourage you guys, and we'll encourage you guys, if you are part of the program, to continue that mentorship and then continue that connection further on into your UCLA career with employers as well. I wanted to give some quotes from previous students who've gone through the program. One student in the past said the most valuable aspect was being able to network with other students in the same situation as myself. It was great to be reassured that not everyone has figured it out yet. And that's when, a lot of students, a good handful of students, I could say, who do apply for this program are in the same boat. They're not sure what it is they want to do. And it's surprising for them to find out that there's a lot of students in the same place as they are. So being able to figure that out for this student was really valuable. And then having that support and understanding that, you'll figure it out eventually and that they're not the only one. Another really good quote from another student is, networking with students, staff, and volunteers has been such a privilege. Learning interview tips, exercising social skills, and all of the given advice has been so beneficial. Having time for self-reflection has definitely given me more guidance and confidence. I feel like this quote very well rounds up the whole weekend. As far as Career Ready Bootcamp, there's tons of networking opportunities that you'll get to have, not just with alumni, but staff as well. In the past, it wasn't just a Career Center staff who was participating, but we had staff from other departments within student affairs who come by as well and assisted us with this program. So networking is going to be a huge component. interviewing tips, social skills, again, self-reflection. These are all skills that you're going to definitely be gaining from within this weekend, and being able to, be confident and understand how to represent yourself, how to tell your story, I think is one of the best experiences that students get out of this weekend. Are there any questions so far? And again, feel free to ask questions in the chat if you like, and we will get to those as well. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the actual application itself. The application is on Handshake, as you can see. Again, November 8th is the deadline for the application. What we don't base our decision on is your major. So it doesn't matter what major you are at UCLA, we accept all majors, and that's what we've done in the past. GPA is definitely not a requirement as well as far as having a specific GPA, and we do not take a look at your resume as part of the application. So those are the three criteria that we don't base our decision. We do end up helping you with your resume if you do get in the program, so that's something to look forward to if you do feel like you need some further assistance. But we do take a look at, we do have some requirements for the application. As you go through the application, you'll notice that there are 2 essay prompts. So you do have to answer the essays in order for your application to be even looked at. The first essay is in 150 words or less. Please tell us how you would benefit from participating in the Career Ready Bootcamp. And again, we are looking for very detailed types of answers. We want to make sure that you did put the time and effort in answering a question like this. When I get students asking me questions like, how do I go about answering this question? A lot of it is, what is this program about? And based on like the description that's on Handshake, how would this program help you within your career development and so on? So those are the types of answers we're looking for. The other question is, in 300 words or less, please describe the challenges you have faced in preparing for your future career. And again, really think about this as, what is a challenge to you? What are some challenges that you have faced that you genuinely feel like, you need that extra assistance and that this program can help you with that? Talk to us about the challenge, be as comfortable as you feel like, in describing those challenges to us within the essay. Let's talk about, obviously, the selection criteria and what we look for when we do read those essays. Definitely, like I said, effort put into the essays. And, over the years, having read so many essays, we're able to tell like who's put in an effort and who has not. So it is really important for us to see that effort in being able to write those essays and answering those questions. Level of self-reflection, again, how well do you know yourself? How comfortable are you in getting to know yourself? We feel that that's extremely important in just, getting the best out of the program and the weekend. Some students might not even know that much about themselves, and that's perfectly fine. And the purpose of this program is to help you get there. Some students might, have a high level of self-reflection, and that's wonderful as well. Now let's figure out how we can take that and move it into the next level in the student's career development. How beneficial this program would be for you. Again, a lot of that comes through those essay questions that you would have to answer, and how much you're willing to put in. Because again, it's called the boot camp because it's going to be a lot of work over the weekend, and it requires a lot of work. And I know it's a weekend, and I know it's virtual and so on, but again, the more work you put into it, the more you will get out of the weekend. So we are definitely looking for those students who are willing to put in that work. Are there any questions? That's the end of the presentation for me today. I can't emphasize how, I'm excited I am about this program. Again, it's a wonderful opportunity for you guys to, build your confidence, build your career skills as far as career development skills, connect with alumni, connect with employers, connect with your peers, and so on. So again, I encourage you guys to apply to the program this year. And I hope that you do as well. So any questions?
Yeah, I have a quick question.
Yes.
So the people who typically, or the students who typically do the program, are they mostly, do you find it often that there's students mostly from, or who are like seniors or juniors or freshmen or sophomores? Like, what's the?
So great question. We get an array of students. So we've had, first year students to seniors. In the past, the majority have been third and fourth year students. But we encourage, second and third year students to apply a lot, those from disadvantaged backgrounds to apply to the program. But again, if you send that, it doesn't matter what grade level or what major, if you send us that great essay, those great essay questions, we're more than happy to admit you into the program.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Any other questions before we move on? Great. All right, so I am going to stop sharing my screen. Thank you. And today we get the privilege of having Christian, one of our career peers who was actually, what cohort were you part of? What year? 2018, I believe?
Winter 2019.
Winter 2019.
Mhm.
Joining us today, Christian is here to talk about the program, answer your questions, because he went through the program, he did the essays and so on. And then the one thing I really would like for you to focus on, Christian, is also how the program has helped you, along the way, as all the wonderful things that you've accomplished so far. So if you can go ahead and introduce yourself and kind of walk through the process, maybe talk to us about a little also about the application and how you went about, if you remember, like answering the questions and so on.
Absolutely. Thank you, Roni, for the introduction. Very humbling. And first of all, I would like to congratulate, first of all, everyone for attending this info session. I know there's a small number of you, but that small number is actually something that will serve you in the end. Just for further introductions, my name is Christian Cruz. My pronouns are he, him. I am a fifth-year transfer student at UCLA, a major in Chicano studies. I'm also a first-generation college student. And when I participated in Career Ready Bootcamp, it was my first year at UCLA. So if any of you, or if you know of any friends who are in their first year, we know the anxiety that comes in coming to a large school, feelings of being lost, feelings of not knowing what to do, of whether you're pursuing the right major, etc. That is actually the overarching reason why I applied to Career Ready Bootcamp. Not only of all the great, amazing workshops that you'll be attending, what I really loved about how this workshop is portrayed and advertised is that it's geared towards students who are unfamiliar with these kinds of services, and also at the same time this kind of teaching or methodology of being professional and being ready for the workforce right after college. So for me personally, knowing how to do interviews, knowing how to write a resume, knowing how to write cover letters, etc., and even beyond, and what am I passionate about, what do I want to do long term, etc., those kinds of questions I think we all ask ourselves throughout our whole lives. Those questions and workshops will definitely be geared towards students like me and students like yourself. If you For those attending this info session, it was a great, amazing experience. I had so much fun. My most favorite part of the Career Ready Bootcamp is the UCLA Bruins and the friends you'll be making from this bootcamp. I know we are in a virtual environment, so I don't know how it will play out in a virtual landscape, but what I can tell you is that everyone that I've met at Career Ready Bootcamp was so amazing. They have really amazing, strong characters, and the network you'll be leaving right after, you'll have people that are literally in every career path you can possibly think of, and have them as a resource that you can reach out to whenever you need help. In my cohort, in my year, there was around 200 of us. And just like Roni said earlier in the presentation, it's advised to make a LinkedIn account so you can each keep in contact with each other. Those same 200 people from 2 years ago, I still talk to some of them today. But anytime I needed help with something, I would always reach out. For example, I know a personal family member who's interested in law school, and I know one person from the Career Ready Bootcamp who graduated last year and who's now into UCLA Law, and I was able to connect that person to a personal friend and family member I knew. That's just the amazing of that's just like the power of networking, and I think that is what you'll definitely get the most out of long term with this boot camp, more about the application process. Of course, when Career Ready Bootcamp was being advertised at school and when things were being normal, quote unquote, I knew that the application was very competitive. A lot of people were drawn to the idea that they would escape to a weekend, not having to pay anything, and just learn about odd things career related, and also to hang out with other Bruins. So that fun and social aspect, of course, drew me as well. So it's very competitive, but what I loved about the application process is it didn't emphasize what made you qualified to apply, what are your skills, what are your strengths. Instead, they were asking more thoughtful, provoking questions: is why are you interested? Tell me more about your background and what drew you to applying. How can these services benefit or advance your careers in one way? So it's asking you to be genuine and be thoughtful that you really need these services. And what I loved about the Career Ready Bootcamp is that in my cohort, statistically, there were more transfer applicants than freshmen sophomores, because we know if you are a transfer student, um, the amount of time and resources once you enter into university are kind of limited in terms of both opportunity and etc. So I love the fact that it was very transfer friendly and transfer oriented, and that was something very important and special to me. And once you're there at that boot camp, you get exposed to so many professionals. I remember seeing over 50, 60 professionals, and they were all UCLA alumni, and they are all there for one thing, and that is to help you. They've all been there in your shoes, and all those 60 alumni are doing amazing, fascinating things in career. People from the entertainment industry, from pre-health, from health industry, from law industry, NGOs, nonprofits, government, state sector, you name it, they're there. And I definitely keep up with those who were representing the tech industry, because that's personally a career path for me that I want to embark right after college, is going into the tech field. And it's just really a vulnerable space, and also a really safe space where you can open up about anything and people will relate to you and hear your story and etc., like empower you at the end of the day. That's the best way I can word it. If I can word my entire experience in one word, is the Career Ready Bootcamp is there to empower you to embark on any career goals or dreams that you may have, and it will help you. And I do wish that it was in person, but we have to adapt. So I am very optimistic that the amazing team at the Career Center will put not only just even a great experience in virtual environment, but probably offer something that we probably weren't able to get in an in-person experience. Half of the time at the Career Ready Bootcamp, we were kind of resting and having fun. So I can't imagine what kind of fun activities you all will be doing, or how much more people they are able or not able to admit, therefore strengthening their relationships online. So I think there's a lot of benefits even with the virtual landscape. And honestly, if for those of you attending, I really highly recommend not only for you to apply, I really wish I persuaded all of you to apply, but I really want your friends to apply as well. If you can reach out to your student organizations or people you know who attend school, to reach out to them. I know for me, when I applied my first year, it was an amazing experience that I had to let more transfer friends that I knew. And successfully the year after, I was able to get 8 people to apply and also be admitted, and also a personal close friend of mine, and they all loved it. I was just happy to hear that the many thanks I got after they attended the boot camp, because I know it was transformative experience for me. So I really want you all to apply, but I really want you all even more to tell your friends to apply. I know because it is virtual school, there's a lot of things happening in your home, and there's a lot of things happening with the world and with your life. But if if you have the time and if you have the bandwidth to pursue this opportunity in the winter quarter, I really highly recommend it. So that's my spiel. Thank you for coming once again. I congratulate you all for attending this info session. If you have any questions, I would like to answer them now. You don't have to turn on your camera. You can also type them in the chat. No worries. Zoom exhaustion is real, so I get it. You don't have to worry about that. But I'm here if you have any questions, and also I can leave my email on the chat. Actually, Roni, do you mind if I type in my email in case they have a question? Okay. I can type in my email and we can follow up right after.
Please go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right, but thank you all. I'm open to any questions.
Are there any questions for Christian at this time?
Oh, I did see a question during your info session. It's from Sarit. How is COVID affecting the weekend? I don't know if you wanna.
Yeah, honestly, it's a great question to ask. As Christian mentioned, this program in the past, it's an actual camp. So we got to take, 40, 45 students on a bus to a campsite. They got to spend 2 nights there. So it was a real camping type of an experience. And unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we're not able to do that this year. But that doesn't take away at all from the actual experience. So Christian did mention, a lot of the fun activities that we did. So we are going to try for sure give you guys some really great activities and fun activities virtually so that, at least it doesn't feel like, oh man, I got to do another weekend of Zoom. So we're going to definitely try and make it a very exciting and educational weekend for you all. Because again, it is Zoom is definitely a hard thing to handle, during the week, let alone on the weekends. So but yes, the downfall or the main difference is that, in the past, we would actually get to go to a campsite and spend the night. Unfortunately, we're not able to do that this year. It's a great question.
Chime in on that one
Yes.
as well. I'm going to leave my camera off because I wasn't planning on having an active role in this webinar, but my name's Stacy. I'm also with the Career Center team, and I've been leading the bootcamp for 6 of the 7 years. And just another note on how COVID has changed the experience. We wanted to be really mindful of Zoom fatigue. In the past, it had been 3 full days of content. We're not going to ask you to sit behind your computer for 3 full days. That's just too much. So we did have to make some decisions on what to scale back on. So now it's a 2-day program. It'll be from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. both days with plenty of breaks built in. So it won't be as intensive as the in-person one was, because we want to be realistic for what, you can dedicate, especially, once the quarter has started and you have other commitments as well. But on the positive side, what we decided to do was take out some of the components from the weekend and make them happen after the weekend. So just to spread out the experience a little bit more. So that's what Roni had talked about with the informational interviews with your mentors. Those will now occur after the weekend. And could continue however long it works for you and your mentor. Also, you'll be paired with an employer to do a mock interview, and that will happen outside of the weekend too. Just so those are some of the ways that that COVID affected the planning.
Thank you very much, Stacy, for clarifying. Any questions from the participants about the application, the program itself? Great. So you do have Christian's email if you have any questions about him as far as participating. We do have a CRB Career Ready Bootcamp email address, so feel free to reach out to us if you guys have any questions regarding the program, the application process, and so on. We would be happy to have you guys join the wonderful program this year, and feel free to reach out to us if you do have it. Thank you, Stacy. The CRB Bootcamp email address is in the chat right there. So feel free to reach out to us if you guys have any further questions, and hope that you guys do apply and join us in this wonderful opportunity. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'll be around for a few minutes if anyone has any questions. Thank you.